Lots to cover today. The UK gaslighting their people as well. An update on oil and the bonds. A look ahead to the inflation report in the US. And new mortgage rules. Let's start with new mortgage rules. Now you can take out a mortgage to build a secondary suite on your property. Here's the highlights. It allows refinancing of insured mortgages for secondary suites because let's face it, there's a lot of people out there that have the space in their house. It's just a terrible idea to be a landlord. Just remember that. When you have problems, don't say I didn't warn you. And increase the mortgage insurance home price limit to $2 million for those refinancing to build a secondary suite. Is this a good move? Absolutely it's a good move. Like Canada-wide, this is a good move. All right, strictly speaking, is this a good idea? Yes, it does technically open up more housing and it helps people pay their mortgage. Here in Ontario, is this something I recommend? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you do this and it turns into a horror story for you, don't say I didn't warn you. The UK has an affordability problem. They need to build at least 1.5 million new homes over the next 5 years. Sound familiar? Here's the last 25 years of population growth in the UK. It's been around 0.8% for about 20 years or so. Then, of course, there's COVID and then the COVID recovery. But you can see, like, this decline just before COVID and this return just after COVID, like, that still averages out to about the same population growth they've had for 20 years. Why do they all of a sudden have a supply issue? I'm just saying, like, the numbers say they don't have a supply issue. The numbers say that population growth is about the same. So how did they fall behind? All right, oil and gasoline falling. Why? Oil prices under pressure as supply disruptions fail to materialize. Yeah, no one has bombed the Iranians. That's why. I said in yesterday's video regarding the bonds that by the end of the day yesterday, the bonds will have gone down or they would go down this morning. There's the 10-year Canada bond. There's the end of the day yesterday. It went down. People are buying the dip now. 5-year, same thing. Dip this morning, and then people are buying the dip. Those people will wish they didn't buy the dip. See, people are confused. Rate cuts were supposed to push mortgage rates lower. The opposite has happened. Because the rates don't mean anything. It's all about oil. Rates got cut. Shit happened in the Middle East. The shit happening in the Middle East drives up the price of oil. Higher oil means less likelihood of future rate cuts. Ergo, the bonds go up. Like I say, it's all about oil. Oil goes up, bonds will go up. Oil goes down, bonds will go down. But will this actually stop the rate cuts from happening? Oh, fuck no. Brace for stock market volatility this week if inflation comes in hot after the September jobs report. Inflation ain't going to come in hot. From the RBC, weak job growth, business outlook raises odds of larger rate cut. The consensus in the U.S. is that the U.S. inflation, which comes out on the 10th, so I guess tomorrow, is going to be around 2.3%. But the RBC thinks it's going to be 2.2%. And given where oil and gasoline has been for the last month, yeah, I'm thinking 2.2% myself. Maybe even a 2.1. And JP does not want to be in the situation that Tiff Macklem is in. JP does not want to see the U.S. inflation rate start stampeding towards 1%. That's what's happening in Canada. And Tiff's going to have a lot of explaining to do. So for JP to get that soft landing he keeps talking about, he's going to have to start pulling back on that stick pretty aggressively. Expect a jumbo rate cut. And tomorrow, when the announcement comes in and says the inflation is 2.2%, these bonds will head back on their downward trajectory. Just like that. Actually, this will probably start heading back down by this afternoon.